Hello students, let us start with our chapter Economic Development. Now, what is economic and non-economic activities? The activity which has an intention of earning or spending the money for the exchange of commodities or services. It's called an economic activity. What is a non-economic activity? An activity which has no aim of obtaining income or something indirectly to receive as an gift or commodities. In short, you are not expecting to get something. That is called a non-economic activity. Let me give an example. A teacher teaching in a school, she is getting her salary. So that is an economic activity. Whereas if the same teacher teaches her child at home, there she is not getting any income, so that is a non-economic activity. A doctor treating a patient and he is paid for that, that is an economic activity. If the doctor's son comes to the hospital and he is being treated, he is not earning over there, then that is called a non-economic activity. Structure of Indian economy. The economic activities in the Indian economy are divided into three sectors. Now this is basically decided on the occupation. Now it is divided into three sectors, that is primary, secondary and service sector. As India is a developing country and we know that basically we are an agrarian country, so more than 60% of the total population is engaged in agriculture, as well as the contribution of agriculture to national income is about 26%. Now what is a primary sector? Primary sector, as we said, it is agricultural and agriculture related activity, or we call it as allied activity. And this sector is dominating in Indian economy. Now it consists of agriculture first, second like cattle rearing, cattle breeding, fishing, poultry farm, collection of forest product, mining of raw material. These all areas are included in the primary sector. These activity gives a great contribution to national income, as I said already, nearly 26%. And we have a gradual decrease from the primary sector recent year as we are stepping more to the secondary and the service sector. Now our second is secondary sector. Small and large scale industries, that is factories, construction of electricity, gas and water supply, these are all included in it. Here it is known whatever production is been done, from a small pin to a gigantic machines, these all are included in the secondary sector. The third is service sector. It includes trade and commerce, transport, communication, education and health, banking and insurance, tourism and entertainment. Now this sector is the fastest growing area and it has surpassed the contribution of primary and the secondary sector of the national income. Factors of production. Land, capital, labor and entrepreneurship are the factors of production. Land. Land is a natural factor of production. It includes the natural things on the surface of earth such as land, forest, mountain, rivers and other sources of water. It also includes the minerals which are below the surface. Land being a gift of nature, its supply cannot be increased. Second, capital. Capital is a man-made factor. It's a man-made instrument helpful in production process such as instruments, tools, house, etc. These are included in the capital, property, assets and investment and others. Third, labor. Labor is the living factor of production. It means any physical or mental work for monetary gain. The work of a farmer or a teacher, doctor is included in the term of labor. work of a farmer, labor, workers, teachers, as we said, these are all considered as a labor, so we say it's a living factor. Entrepreneurship. The person who efficiently combines the three factors of production, that is land, capital and labor, is called entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is the most important factor. The entrepreneur coordinates the factor of production and plan production activity. The work undertaken by such person or the process in which these all four factors comes together and makes a profit, then that process is called entrepreneurship. Distribution of factors of production. Human wants are unlimited while resources to fulfill them are limited. No nation of the world has resources in unlimited quantity. There is always scarcity of factor of production. As a result, every country is facing this problem. Many questions arise such as why, when and how much quantity of limited resources can be used. First, unlimited want. Human wants are uncountable and unlimited. So many wants originates from one want. Many requirements are to be fulfilled. And the reason wants becomes unlimited. So in order to fulfill the wants, one has to make selection among the wants. Important order in terms of necessity. As the resources to satisfy wants are limited, the individual has to decide which want is more important. He has to satisfy his requirement in the order of priority. Whichever requirement is more important, that has to be satisfied early and later on the others. As human wants are unlimited, so it is we who have to put it in the order according to our priorities. So we should know which is the most important thing first to be satisfied. So on that basis, we have to do the selection. Now the third topic is limited resources. Factor of production mainly includes natural wealth and man-made wealth. So they have to be utilized judiciously. Distribution of tools has to be done keeping selected wants in the center. Alternative use of resources. Resources to satisfy demands are limited. They have alternative use also. First, let me explain. For example, a land is there. So I have sown wheat in it. Now I could have done bajra, maize, groundnut or anything. So the other yields cannot be cultivated. So other usage of the land has to be stopped. So when any tools of production may be utilized in more than one way, it means that the tool has a multiple usage. But it's not necessary. Sometimes we can use only one alternative among it. So it is the alternative uses of the resources. So we have to think which can be utilized, and on the other side we are stopping the others. Thus, in the above mentioned condition, distribution of factor of production is done in such a way that the satisfy to the maximum possible demand. So here we learn that we have to get the maximum profit from the limited resources. So we are supposed to use it judiciously, as we are the one who is spending and producing it. So this is an quality of an entrepreneur, to have maximum production with the limited resources. Thank you, students.